I was 21, and for the last 2 years my girlfriend, let's call her Stacy, who's 20, had been living with me and my family. We'd been together for almost 4 years. She'd moved in after a falling out with her father, and my mom, always being generous and soft-hearted, welcomed her into our home. Of course, I was all for it. I loved her, or at least I thought I did. I'll admit, I've always been a little bit of the jealous type in relationships. Not in the crazy, controlling way. At least I never saw myself like that, but I kept my eyes open. The camera thing makes it sound extreme, I know. But it was the only way I felt I could get to the truth after everything that happened. My suspicions started about a year ago. We were all playing code names, me, my sister, she's 24, her boyfriend, also 24, and Stacy. Stacy and my sister's boyfriend ended up on the same team. Immediately I noticed something I didn't like. The way they were interacting, the laughing at each other's jokes, the little playful digs he threw her way, it all felt too flirty, too comfortable. I couldn't ignore it. That night, I pulled Stacy aside and told her I wasn't happy with how it looked. She brushed it off, told me I was reading too much into it, that it was nothing. I wanted to believe her, so I did. But after that night, I couldn't stop watching them when they were around each other. The reality was, I wasn't around much to see anything anyway. I was working full shifts as a cook and going to school, usually not getting home until late at night. My parents both worked regular 8 to 4 jobs, and my sister was on the same schedule. Stacy, on the other hand, only worked weekends and did her school online. Meanwhile, my sister's boyfriend worked construction, and his schedule meant he was home 2 weeks at a time, then gone 2 weeks. That left Stacy and him home alone together a lot. Too much, if you ask me. After that game night, I noticed Stacy became distant whenever he was around. She barely looked at him, only spoke in short bursts. The change was obvious. When I asked her why she was suddenly acting so awkward, she told me it was because she didn't want to make me feel insecure again. That guilt hit me hard. I promised her I'd never bring it up again, and for a while, I kept that promise. Until about a week ago. I was lying on the couch in the living room, and Stacy was in the kitchen making herself a smoothie. From where I was lying, I couldn't see them directly, but the back door had a glass reflection that gave me just enough of a view. My sister's boyfriend came downstairs to make himself lunch. At first, they were just moving around each other, going about their business. Then suddenly, I saw him slap her ass. My body went cold. It felt like fire shot through me, but I couldn't move. After he went back upstairs, I got up, put my shoes on, and headed for the front door. Stacy called out, asking where I was going. I just said, "Really?" I saw what just happened, and slammed the door behind me. She followed me outside, furious, acting like I was imagining things. She twisted it, saying I didn't even see it clearly, that I wanted to believe I saw something just so I could feed my own paranoia. Then she turned it around on me, threatening to move out, saying she couldn't afford rent, school, and everything else on her own. She piled on the guilt, painting a picture of her life falling apart if I didn't back down.
And I caved.
I begged her to stay. I apologized for doubting her, for misunderstanding. I swore I'd never bring it up again. After a long back and forth, she agreed to stay. We walked back inside together. But deep down, I knew what I saw. That night, I ordered a small hidden camera from Amazon. When it arrived, I tucked it behind the living room curtain where it had a good view of the space near the kitchen. The next morning, while everyone was still asleep, I checked the footage. Nothing. I deleted it and set it up again. Then came yesterday. Like before, I woke up before anyone else and loaded the footage onto my laptop. Around 3:15 in the morning, my sister's boyfriend came downstairs and sat on the couch. A few minutes later, Stacy came up from our room. She walked straight to him, carefully, almost sneaking, then sat on his lap. I couldn't stomach watching any more after that. It felt like my whole chest caved in. For years of loyalty, love, and plans for the future, all shattered by the sight of her climbing onto my sister's boyfriend's lap in the middle of the night. I went back down, woke Stacy up, set the laptop in front of her, and pressed play. The second she realized what it was, she slammed the laptop shut and froze. Silence filled the room for what felt like forever before she finally started sobbing, trying to find words. I cut her off. I told her she was the most manipulative, vile person I'd ever met, that she needed to pack her things immediately, or I'd make sure everyone she knew saw that video. She broke down, begging, apologizing, giving excuse after excuse. I didn't want to hear any of it. Eventually, she called her dad to come get her. He picked her up, and now she's back with her family. Most of her things are still here, but she's gone. And with her went every ounce of trust and love I ever had. Rewrite this complete script, not short, write in different words without heading. He told me he wanted to be single, and right there, I decided it was over. I called my best friend and asked her to come help me pack. We had been living together in a 2-bedroom townhouse with our 2 dogs. I asked him to leave while she came over so that I could talk freely. He left, and my friend showed up. She helped me a little with packing and mostly just listened as I poured out everything I was feeling. Not long after he left, I started getting messages from him. He sent me at least 5 texts in a row saying he couldn't lose me, that he didn't understand what was going on in his own mind. He mentioned his family's history with bipolar disorder and schizophrenia. Despite everything, I still loved him deeply, and I told him to come back so we could try to fix things. He was the love of my life, and I would have done anything for him. When he came back, I sent my friend home. He walked in, scooped me up into his arms, and broke down crying. He kissed me, apologized over and over, saying he just wanted everything to go back to normal. I didn't fully understand what he meant by that, but when he asked me to lie on the couch in his arms, I did. We put on a show, and for a moment, I thought maybe things could work out. About half an hour later, he went into the bathroom. He was in there for quite a while, but I didn't think much of it. Then, out of nowhere, I got a message from his coworker. She told me everything. The truth was that he had slept with her 3 times over the past 2 weeks. Those nights when he said he was going to the bar, he was actually getting drunk with her, sleeping with her, and then coming home to me. I was in shock. My whole body went numb. I ran to the bathroom door, pounding on it and screaming at him, calling him a cheater. When he finally came out, he looked devastated and kept insisting he never meant for it to go that far. He begged me to give him another chance, said he'd even hand over his phone every day while I was at work if that would make me feel secure. For a brief second, I considered it. But then I glanced out into the backyard, and in that moment, I felt as though God himself was telling me to stop, to finally let go. So I told him to leave, that I would be moved out in 2 weeks. And almost instantly, he ran right back to her. He lied again, texting me that he was just staying with a friend to give me space until I moved out. But it didn't take long for me to find out he was actually staying with her. Once I was fully out of the house, she moved in. She even put her old apartment up for sublease online. Not long after that, I saw them go public on Facebook as an official couple. It's been 6 months since then. I still think about it a lot, but I've made so much progress. I started therapy, focused on school, got all A's, even took summer classes to graduate faster. I saved up and bought myself a new car, cash in hand. I'm moving forward on my own. I've tried dating again, but every time I meet someone new, I find myself comparing them to my ex. So for now, I'm just letting myself heal. I don't know how long it'll take, but I'm trusting the process. All I hope is that one day, I'll wake up and he won't cross my mind anymore, and I'll finally feel at peace. And now, as if my own heartbreak wasn't enough, I'm dealing with another painful situation, my sister's wedding. I don't want to go. 2 years ago, my brother-in-law discovered she had been cheating on him for 8 years. They had 3 kids together, and all that time she was secretly seeing a married man who also had 2 kids of his own. My brother-in-law found old phones with years of messages that confirmed what he had long suspected. She worked with this man, and because they were in the same professional circles, they even went to company parties together. My sister and her husband used to socialize with him and his wife, all while she was having an affair with him. All those times she claimed she was working late or busy on Sundays, she was actually meeting him. She would ask our parents, me, or our other siblings to watch the kids, not because of work, but so she could sneak away. The most painful detail was when her youngest child was born. Even then, she was still in the affair, She even had our other sister take a picture of her in the NICU with the baby, not to share with family but to send to her boyfriend. Thankfully, a DNA test confirmed that the baby was my brother-in-law's, but by then the damage was done. Looking back, it feels like so much of what we thought we knew about her life was a complete lie. The fallout was devastating. Not only did she wreck her own family and her lovers, but she shattered the trust and hearts of our parents, too.
My dad was especially destroyed by it.
He said more than once that he'll go to his grave with a broken heart because of her choices. He can't comprehend how his daughter could betray so many people. My mom has struggled with depression ever since. Now, 2 years later, the divorce has been bitter. There have been custody battles, financial problems, and endless drama. And through it all, she's stuck with the man she cheated with. Next month, she's marrying him. She even had the audacity to ask my parents for their blessing. My father told her flatly, "You made your choices without my blessing for 8 years. Don't expect it now." I don't want to attend this wedding. I feel terrible for her kids because they don't know the full truth of what happened. My own daughters, who are 15 and 13, do know, and I can't bring myself to take them to a celebration that would make it seem like we're okay with everything.
I don't want to set that example for them.
Her kids, innocent in all this, haven't pieced it all together yet. But as for me, I want nothing to do with her relationship. I can't acknowledge him, and I can't pretend this marriage is something to celebrate. It's all just too painful and too wrong.